Hi, my name is Newell Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to cover something that I'm sure you all have noticed when I shoot my videos. Now, I've changed over the years, but originally I just used my regular hands when I was digging in my bins, and that's really not a big deal. You can do that perfectly fine. I eventually switched to using gloves though, and the reason why is that I would find my hands, they'd get cracked, they'd get dried, especially like during the winter with the low humidity in the area, I'd get cuts all over my hands and they start bleeding, and I didn't want to do that in my bins. I didn't want that dirt to get mixed into my hands and get in my cuts and stuff like that. So I started wearing gloves. That's the reason why I started wearing them. So I have my gloves right here. Hold on, let me just grab the first pairs that I started using were these standard Nitrile Gloves. So they just fit on your hand and you go about your day. So they just go on. They're disposable. You wear them once, you throw them out. I try to wear them more than once, but that didn't always work. But you do this, you wear them, you throw them out. They're really good mobility. You can really kind of feel, they work really well. I'm not going to lie. I wore these for years because I didn't know what else to wear, and these were convenient. I've been trying to cut back, though, on using disposable gloves. Now, a lot of times in my videos, I would still wear disposable gloves simply because they were easier to maneuver. So the other pair of gloves I had are these right here, which are these cloth on the back here, and then they're nitrile dip, I think they call them. And these, same thing, they just slide on, okay, and you can take them off. They have pretty good feel. They're not quite like the leather gloves I tried, and those are completely useless, I felt. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't really have the articulate finger movements that I would need. And I didn't like them at all. So these gloves, though, worked pretty well. There's one huge drawback, and that is the fact that these are not fully coated. So what would happen is I would dig into a bin, and then I'd hit some moisture in the bin. It would come in the backside, and it would just soak into my fingers. And then I'd have to wash these, and I was doing that quite frequently. So I got tired of using these, and I started looking around, and I found these gloves. So these are H2O Mud Gloves. Now, there's a couple different brands, but these have really good texture on the tips here. I don't know if you can see them really well. Let's see if I can hold it that way. But they have really good kind of texture. They're a little wet right now. It's just digging in the bins. They are coated on the backside, so I don't have that issue with moisture getting into my hands anymore. And I can just rinse them right off with water. And they work really well, and they're keeping my hands clean, which I like. And the fact is that they're very easy to reuse. You just put your hand in, you can slide it right off, no big deal. They're a little bit easier to get off even than these, I feel, and easier to put on because they have a little bit more rigidity. So I've been very impressed with these. These are, actually, let me grab the label here on the, there we go. So this is the label that came with it, and they're by Mud Glove, and I have really liked them. I found that they are really good. Now, there's another brand I know that makes gloves that are very similar. I didn't buy that one. They were a little bit more expensive, and I didn't feel I needed to spend, I think they were like $20 instead of $15 or something like that. And I was like, well, for $5 more, these look just as good. So that's why what I wanted to talk about today was just, how good these gloves are and how really you can dig with your hands. But I do recommend gloves, especially if you're in areas that are dry and your hands crack and they bleed on the backside. You don't want to get all this compost in your cuts. That's just not a healthy thing to do, and it's not healthy to really get that inside in those areas where you could actually have major issues. So for those that are doing composting, I hope you enjoy these videos, and please like and subscribe. If you have any gloves you recommend, please let me know. I'm always willing to try something else to see if it's a better glove or just to see if it works just as well as what I have. So please let me know in the comments, and thank you everyone for watching these videos.